everybody? Daily Draft Dude here, back again, once again, for another fantasy football mock draft. Today we're doing a 12 team, zero point 0.5 PPR, no tight end premium draft from the 12 spot. Before we get into things, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like down below and consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot. And let me know what you think about my takes in the comments below. Really, anything that I talk about. I think today we're going to try something a little bit different. I've been seeing a lot of discourse on Reddit about certain players, and so if I see those players pop up, we're just going to talk about them for a few minutes. So I'm actually going to adjust the draft settings. Let's do 5 minutes. We won't actually do 5 minutes, but just in case we want to talk about certain players, we have more than enough time to do so. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Chase goes first, followed by Gibbs, Robinson, JSN, Jonathan Taylor, Puka, CMC, ASRB, ARSB, James Cook, Ken Walker, Devon A. Chan. So this is 0.5 PPR, and as I've been talking about in my other drafts, I prefer to go running back heavy. Now here, we see some pretty good, I think, wide receiver values. We have, CeeDee Lamb, who I think is an excellent pick. And we have Ash and Genty. Of course, going to go Genty here. I'm going to go Genty. I think, last season he was plagued by a really poor O-line. They brought in Tyler Lindenbaum this offseason, the Raiders, that is. They brought in Jalen Naylor, who I believe is a great blocker. They drafted Fernando Mendoza. I think the stars have aligned for Ashton Genty to be a very good fantasy-friendly running back this year. I do expect him to be better than Ken Walker, probably Christian McCaffrey, potentially Jonathan Taylor. I think these two guys are completely in a tier of their own. Not even close. Here, I think CeeDee Lamb is probably the right pick in 0.5 PPR. I think I might just go double RB, and I might get Jeremiah Love. I think he can be really good. No, 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 let's do it. Let's get Jeremiah Love. Genty, Jeremiah Love. Next goes Jettas, Hampton, Lamb, great value. Brown, London, Barkley, Pickens, Neighbors, Irving, McBride, Collins, Jacobs, Olave, Brees, AJ Brown, Brock on the third. That's really good value. Josh Allen. Okay. Here, here I think is where things are starting to get a little bit crazy. I'm going to go Kyron here. And now I have a really good, I feel like, start. I have some two workhorses, and then Kyron Williams, who's been no doubt splitting or ceding carries to Blake Corum. I think that's totally cool. Then I think here you can start to take some upside shots. So if we look at wide receiver, I could see Tet. I wouldn't mind being my wide receiver one. Burden, little rich for me. We've talked about it in the past. If you've seen the other videos, I'm just not in on Luther Burden at cost. I don't think his performance at the tail end of last season warrants the 40th overall ranked player. Now I could totally eat my words on that, but I do think that it was partially due to Odunze's injury and his own as well. He's a really good player, drafted early second for a reason. It's a little risky for him to be my wide receiver one when he hasn't really done too much to warrant that. I do like Cornell Tate. I like Mike Evans. Christian Watson, he's another one where I'm a little nervous to pick him, but I think this is a pretty easy Tedoroa McMillan. He had some really good games. In half. So, yeah. He no doubt had some duds. But I think he could be. Yeah. Look at this fantasy. He went 9-5 for 68, 10-6 for 100. Then they were just 4-1 for 5. I mean, that is just disgusting. But that was really one of his, he had some ups and downs with Bryce Young, but I think he can easily be my number one. And I'm not nervous about Chris Brazzell or Jalen Coker or Chuba. I think he is by far and away the most talented. So we got Drake May. This team is shaping up actually to be pretty decent. Don't love the Harvey pick. Really could have been anything there. Honestly, would have preferred Judkins or Swift. Here, let's look at tight ends. So here we can go Warren. I don't mind. We can go Kincaid. I kind of like Kincaid. I think I might take a shot on later. RBs, we got Monty. Monty, I think, is in an interesting spot because I do believe he's going to get the most work in that offense. I just don't know what that's actually going to turn into. I mean, if we look at his log, I mean, right, he went in PPR, he went 11 for 25. I mean, 2.27 against Green Bay, that's not great. He went 11 for 57, 5.18 for 13, and a touchdown. So most of that value is 6 points is in the touchdown. Baltimore, he kind of did go crazy. He went 12 for 155 for 12 and a half a carry with two touchdowns, one for 13. Then he missed some time, and then he was low key sort of phased out a little bit. He's had some boom weeks, you know, in Houston. He's 28, 7 years. In this range, he's probably a good wide, RB3, RB4 type. Other guys that I kind of like in his range, not really, not really loving Jalen Warren. Rather get Rico Dowdle. I do think that it's important for me to sort of lock in my wide receiver room of who I want it to be. I could also punt another round because I think next round there's some really good values. There's BTJ, Marv, Pearsall, Alec Pierce, Godwin, Parker Washington, Wandale, QJ, Jaden Higgins, Josh Downs. Josh Downs is another one. He's another one that I've seen so much trading and dynasty going around him, and I'm just not seeing it. Michael Pittman, yes, Michael Pittman is departed. They didn't really draft anybody in the draft except for Deion Burks in the seventh. I think a lot of people expect, just like Sleepers AI is doing, sort of a increase in production, even though it went down. So I'm just not feeling it. I don't think he's really in a great spot to succeed. I mean, what, 3, 11, 5, 6, 11, 16, 12, 15, 1, 3, 6, 6, 10, 11, 5, 9. I think he's being treated as like a wide receiver two, but I think he's more like a three. And I'm not feeling it. I think he's talented, but just not loving it otherwise. I think here, yeah, I think here we could take an upside swing on one of these guys. I kind of like Jordan Tyson just like a little bit better. So I think I'm gonna go for Jordan Tyson. I've been drafting a lot of Jordan Tyson. I think he's gonna have a really good year. So let's do it. Let's lock and load. And I'm back on the clock, and I think we could take Monty. Do I want any of the tight ends? Could take Warren. Hmm. Yeah. Could take Warren. What, 5 for 5, 8 for 5? Got a lot of targets. Let's go Warren. Let's take Warren. So I have 3 RBs, my two wide receivers, no QB. Daniels in the sixth. It's great value. I really should have looked at him. Tyler Warren. Rico makes me a little sad, but all good. Could take Jackson Dart. Rather get Herbie. which I'll do here. Let's get my boy Justin Herbert. I think he's going to explode this year, and I think in the seventh with Mike McDaniels, he's going to be great value. Um, could take Kenny Gainwell. Bucky is still recovering from surgery. Could take Jadarian Price. Could take BTJ. Could take Pierce. I mean, again, a lot of good options here. I think we're going to take BTJ. BTJ had an electric rookie year. A lot of people are saying, oh, Mac Jones was just throwing the ball to him. They had nothing to win for. You know what? I think at the end of the day, at the NFL level, at the top level, talent means everything. If BTJ can have that sort of top five record breaking rookie season, then I think he's talented. Um, for me here, I think this is gonna be a nice, easy Jadarian Price. Let's sort of see what happens in Seattle. I have enough. I do have quite a few rookies. I think Tyrone Tracy could have been a better pick. Um, so let's do that. Let's take Tyrone Tracy as a Scat went in the fourth. Tyrone Tracy's going in the 10th. We don't even know what his recovery from the injury is going to look like. Rather just take the safety net. They didn't really draft anybody. They signed a few undrafted free agents in the running back room, but I think this was an easy. I'm just the same thing with Woody Marks. I'm not really understanding like this huge discrepancy. I mean, this is 5 rounds of value between these two guys. David Montgomery is objectively a little bit better than Woody Marks, but I don't think it's that big that it's 5 rounds of talent. We don't even know what this timeshare is going to look like. Um, I mean, I think there's a lot of good options here. A lot of wide receiver is so deep. You can take so many shots. I've been drafting a lot of Brooks. Could take a Chris Rodriguez, but I think I just want more wide receiver depth. And I think I'm going to take Jaden Reed. I do think him and Kraft are the 1-2 punch of this offense. He sort of helps move it along with Kraft. Um, yeah, Jawan James just a wide receiver 3. No sense. Jordan Mason, yeah, not really feeling any of these guys. Tajay Spears, rather just take shots on the. Let's do Chris Rodriguez. Let's take a shot that Chris Rodriguez is the guy in Jacksonville. Let's look at these other teams. Yeah, this is pretty wide receiver heavy in .5 PPR. I like this late Kyler Murray pick. Same thing with Baker. AJ Barner, he's just one of those guys that I think is feast or famine. I just don't know. Why can I select him? I just don't know if he's worth rostering. I think it could be really any tight end. Like I think I'd rather have Chig than AJ Barner. I'd rather have even potentially Kate Otten over AJ Barner. Jake Tonjes over AJ Barner. Gunnar Helm potentially. I'd rather have. Yeah, maybe Eli Stowers, but that's tough to say. He's a rookie. Um, yeah, let's take more shots. Let's see. Antonio Williams, are you gonna pop off in any way? Um, I could do Matthew Golden. I could do Travis Hunter. I could do Jerry Judy. I don't really like any of those guys though. You know, let's do could do Jay Brooks. Could do Katron Allen. Let's do Nick Singleton. Can he get on the field? And then obviously these last 2 rounds are a little iffy because the computer is selecting defense and kicker. So again, if you want to join one of these drafts, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to include you next time I go live. All right, with the final pick of the draft, I have plenty of running backs, but One, two, three, four, five. I think I'd rather just churn the bottom of my bench and just take upside shots. So you could really do anything. I like Claiborne. All right, guys. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.